The steam engine for its type is the fastest land vehicle. And the steam team are the power behind freight and express services that make up the Northwestern Railway. This is the Northwestern Adventures. The island of Sodor doesn't usually have to deal with bad weather. The two examples I can think of is the never-ending winter of 1935 and the Great Flood of 1922. It was the spring of 1952 when this story takes place and the engines were watching the Sodor news on the brand new black and white TV that I installed in the sheds. This was 1 year before the first color TVs began popping up. You are watching Sodor News. I am Mr. News, and yes, I did only get this job because of my name. There is a massive fog forming at the south of the island. Anyone, trains, buses or people, all need to be careful. I advise against any and all passenger trains if possible. Trains were being stopped all over Sodor and the passengers had to be taken home by Bertie and other Sodor buses. James was taking trains on the Arlesburg branch, was stuck in a shed on the branch with two other engines. The engines were Charlie and Toby. Toby and James were sent to the branch since Wendell left a couple of weeks earlier. Charlie was a new engine bought to help out on the branch. James wanted to be with the bigger engines at Tidemouth. He thought Toby was too old and Charlie was too annoying. Back in my days there was no such thing as a lazy engine like yourself, James. I have had enough of you too. I'm going to Tidemouth. James. You can't leave. Nobody can see through the fog. Don't care. At least let me go with you. I have seen quite a few strong fogs in my day. Then James left the sheds and Toby followed, leaving Charlie all alone. Alone again. Just like my old railway. Why does nobody love me? The fog was so thick that both Toby and James simply puffed past Tidemouth. They got all the way to the viaduct before realizing. The water from the rock had weakened the supports of the viaduct. The last time it was given maintenance was when it collapsed back in 1922. James didn't even know where he was until it was too late. The bridge began to break. James's front four wheels were dangling dangerously over the edge. Help! Toby was the only engine nearby, and then seeing James like that reminded him of an incident on his first railway. It was back when Toby, James and Oliver were the only engines living on the line. James nearly fell off an old bridge but Toby saved him. That is what made Toby remember that James and Toby worked together over 30 years ago. Toby coupled onto James and pulled as hard as he could, and soon he got James back on the rails. Toby took James back to the sheds. On the way there, the two talked about memories on the old line, and the next day Toby and James told Henry and Gordon about the old line and all four became friends again. The fog had also disappeared the next day. But even back then, I knew that the bad weather wasn't over yet.